Welcome back to Not Another Moto Pod, hosted by Sam Fury. This week we've got episode 19, recapping the 2025 Supercross season finale from Salt Lake. Two more championships were handed out this week, and we had another wild night of racing. Let's get right into the 250 class. As I mentioned, a wild night. The three title combatants in this 250 East class really went at it. It was really an exciting race to watch. There was a lot going on up front. Really cool to watch these guys come through the pack and kind of have a true battle. Not often do you see a title come down to it this close and actually see these guys get to battle it out all head to head. So it was an exciting night. But first off, Hayden Deegan ran away with the win, got a huge hole shot. It looked as if Juju and Tom maybe had an issue coming out around second and third that kind of held the pack up, which allowed Deegan to get away very far, very quickly. I was of the belief that Deegan was going to play this thing by how his start went. I don't think if he had a bad start that he was going to push tonight. We kind of saw that last year after he clinched his championship in the motocross class when he finished either 10th or 11th in the last moto on the year, and kind of just didn't have it. There's a lot of talk with Deegan this week saying that he wanted to come out and stamp it, but I really think it was dependent on his start. And there you go. He started again well out front and just ran away with this thing. I think he won by 10 or 12 seconds. Awesome season for Hayden Deegan. As he said, stamping his championship with a fourth win, ninth consecutive podium. The only race that he finished outside of the podium was the first race of the year where he finished fifth. So 10 top fives, 9 podiums, 4 race wins on the year. I think a lot of us, maybe including myself, had kind of gone into tonight thinking that Hayden had kind of been a little bit of a letdown this season compared to the domination that we expected. But when you really look at the numbers, this really was true domination. It just didn't really flash. He didn't have as many I guess just flashy moments as maybe we expected, or lead as many laps as we expected, but he definitely got it done when it counted. So great for Deegan there. Second place, Juju Beaumer, Deegan's main rival, of course. Juju looked really fast in the heat race, blew by Deegan in the whoops. He looked really good all day, actually. I believe he was the fast qualifier as well. Juju just looked really good on the day. Unfortunately, he kind of inserted himself into this 250 East Championship and how things played out. He really didn't have to get involved, but he really kind of went out of his way to, I don't want to say screw up Seth Hamaker's race, but to kind of just get in Hamaker's way when Hamaker looked like he was going to take second from Juju and just kind of run away with this thing and take his own title. But Juju, kind of got a bit crafty. I wouldn't call it dirty, but definitely went out of his way to make sure that Seth didn't get by him. Was eventually rewarded after RJ and Seth went down, and he took second place there. So good job by Juju on the night. Just rough again to see him insert himself maybe in that championship, but great riding, nonetheless. Third place and your 250 East champion, second year in a row, Tom Vial. Just incredible, unbelievable. He looked really fast early. It looked like he was going to actually just hold Seth and RJ behind him the entire night. Maybe kind of had a lull, and Juju got by him, and then Hamaker got by him. At some point, RJ would have gotten by him the way that he was riding. And then obviously, RJ and Seth had their own troubles, and Tom just kind of snuck in and was able to take the third place and the championship. Unbelievable ride and season for Tom, his sixth podium of the year. I said it all year. I didn't think Tom was going to win this championship, and here he goes, proving me and most other people wrong. So really great for Tom Bial to follow up his championship last year. We know last year a lot of people had kind of said that he was a bit aided by the 9-whoop rule in winning last year's championship. There was a bit of that talk this year, but it really wasn't there the same. He kind of fought his way from behind, when he needed it. Came out and got the win in Pittsburgh, and really just showed that he's got the grit to hold on. Again, not the fastest guy, but 6 podiums talks for itself. I believe RJ Hampshire was the only other guy with 6 podiums on the year. So in the East, of course. So really good ride by Tom Vial to capture this championship and get third place. Fourth place, Seth Hamaker. As I said, Hamaker, it looked at points that he was just going to be behind Tom for a while. And then he kind of found his flow. He made some passes. It looked like he was going to ride in a second. And Again, unfortunately, had he not gotten in this battle with Juju, maybe the incident with RJ doesn't happen, or doesn't happen the same way at least. So unfortunate there. So Seth was in the position to take this championship. RJ Hampshire got one position behind him with 2 minutes left and just cleaned him out. Cleaned them both out. Just unbelievable. I don't know what RJ was thinking. Obviously, RJ had to make the pass and gain another point. So Hammaker either would have had to get passed again or RJ would have had to make another pass. So you see where his logic was coming from, but it really just screwed both of their races up. And I mean, honestly, if I'm Hammaker, I'm having words with RJ back in the pits. Just unbelievable, especially from a guy as a veteran rider as much as RJ, to do something like that. Just unbelievable and really unfortunate for Seth Hammaker. I really did believe that he was probably the best guy on the season overall. Obviously, the points don't say that. But again, great for Tom. Unfortunate for Seth, but his best season yet. It really looks like he has turned things around in his career, so awesome for him there. And a great job to finish up fourth. He really, even after getting up with the fall with RJ, he got up and kind of put in a couple hot laps and tried to get back to Tom's rear wheel, but just couldn't do it. So really unfortunate again. Fifth place, Michael Mosman. Don't know where he came from. Had a bad start. I think he was around 11th on the start. Made some passes. So just really good ride by Michael Mosman. Honestly, didn't see him during the entire main event, but a solid ride for Michael Mosman. This is his best finish at a showdown all year. He's shown some flashes in the West races, of course, but kind of had disappeared in the showdowns. But good for him on the night to get a fifth place. Sixth place, RJ Hampshire. Again, just unbelievably silly move by him. Again, taking him and Seth out. At a point, it looked like he may have been faster than Seth, truthfully. Obviously, he understood that he had to finish, with a gap between himself and Seth, with a rider in there or a rider before Seth. So it seems obvious to me at this point that was an attempt at a takeout move, but you can't make that move and take yourself out. Just really unfortunate. RJ did look fast. It looked like, honestly, on those last couple laps that he could have passed Seth straight up. He obviously wasn't going to go catch Deegan at that point, but maybe Juju could have caught Seth. Who knows? Just, again, unfortunate on the night, but RJ finishing third in the championship with what we think is his last 250 ride. He will be moving to 450 class for outdoors and in the future. Kind of excited to see what he does in 450s. Not necessarily outdoors, but I think he could be maybe a 5 to 7 guy in the Supercross class next year. Really interested to see how that goes. Obviously, he rode the 450s at Daytona, I believe in 2023, and looked pretty solid. So good ride for him. Seventh place, Garrett Marchbanks. Really good ride by Garrett Marchbanks. He started a ways behind. Him and Joe Shimoda actually had terrible starts. I think they were around 17th and 18th off the start and both kind of climbed through, albeit at different paces, but did climb through. Again, didn't see much of these guys on the broadcast with so much going on up front, but solid ride for Garrett Marchbanks to finish seventh, finishing off the year. Very, very strong after his last couple of weeks having podium finishes. Eighth place, Joe Shimoda. He can't be happy with an eighth place, but again, he started way back with Garrett, and they kind of made their way through. So unfortunate finish to the season for Joe Shimoda. The last couple of weeks have not been kind to him. I believe he was ninth last week and eighth this week, so unfortunate, but positives to look at with moving through the field the way he did. Ninth place, Cody Schock. Just a pretty good finish for Cody at a showdown. We saw Cody get his first podium earlier this year in the West class. Obviously, you mix the showdown, you become a bit tougher to break that top five, much less the podium. So good for Cody to get a ninth place here. 10th place, Drew Adams, his third 250 main event. He's got an 8, 8, and a 10 on his career now, so solid riding by Drew Adams. 11th place, Chance Hymas. I don't know what happened to Chance. I think he was in 13th or 14th and just didn't really move forward. Wonder if there was an issue with the Hondas, maybe at elevation with Joe and Hymas kind of struggling, but who knows. 12th place, Max Volan. Volan was kind of in the back with Garrett and Joe at some point. Kind of struggling, but made some moves forward. Again, didn't see much of these guys, but solid riding from Volan. 13th, Nate Thrasher. For 2 weeks now, I've been calling that Nate Thrasher or Cole Davies was going to win this showdown. Cole Davies obviously hurt. We'll talk about that later. Nate Thrasher had a top 5 start, looked good, and just went backwards, one by one, all the way to 13th. Not sure if he went down or what happened there, but he just kind of just fell down the order again, one by one. So I don't really know if he went down actually. And just a 13th place, the anomaly that we call Nate Thrasher. 14th, Hardy Munoz, really good ride for Hardy in a showdown. 15th, Cullen Park. I believe he's done better in the showdowns this year than this, but solid for him to finish top 5 in that 250 class. So good riding for Cullen Park nonetheless. 16th, Lux Turner. 17th, Hunter Yoder. 18th, Devin Simonson. Hard ride for Simonson. His first showdown of the year, has done well since coming back from injury. Only his 3rd main event of the year. 19th, Gavin Towers, about where we're used to seeing Towers in these showdowns. 20th, Enzo Lopes. Really unfortunate. Enzo was riding around 7th, 8th early and really looked good and looked like he was going to hold on to that position. And apparently had a bike issue late and was unable to finish. Unfortunate there for Enzo, because hearing some of his interviews after the fact, it sounded like he was riding well and riding confident. 21st, Jack Chambers, didn't see what happened there. 22nd, Austin Faulkner, similar to Enzo, was riding top 7, 8, didn't quite make it as deep into the main, but sounds like Faulkner had a bike issue as well. But really rough night for Enzo and Faulkner, who really could have finished probably in that 7 to 10 range. But again, just unfortunate, when you look at it on paper. Some injuries on the night. We saw a nasty crash with Jordan Smith jumping into the back of Cole Davies. Davies kind of cased a jump in the rhythm and kind of swerved almost into the way of Jordan Smith, who was already committed to the quad, and just really nothing either of them could do. Davies obviously didn't see it coming, and it was the one who unfortunately swerved into Jordan's way, and Jordan went sheer in the air at that point. There's really not much you can do. Sounds like Davies kind of escaped pretty unharmed compared to the way that it looked. Possibly a broken arm, maybe some broken ribs, things that will heal probably, honestly, by the time Outdoors is finished. I would imagine we don't see him in Outdoors this year. I would imagine we probably don't see him again until SMX, unless they want to see him get some gate drops or something. But really unfortunate for Davies, who was having such a great season and who a lot of people, including myself, said was probably going to come out and win this week. I really would have loved to see another Davies-Deegan showdown this week. Just unfortunate there. Jordan Smith did not race as well. Had some rough scarring. It looked like probably held him out. Didn't hear exactly what else was gone to what extent. But Jordan Smith tried to ride in the heat race and had to pull off. But it seems like he'll be okay moving forward in Outdoors. Again, your champions this year, Tom Vial. 2 times in a row, incredible for Tom Vial. Just the way he gets it done is just it's unique, but it's awesome and really something to bring into the sport. And hate to see him go into the 450s next year and kind of just become one of these 7 to 12 guys because it really was fun to watch him kind of shake it up in the 250 class. Tom, I do believe eventually he could be a race winner in the 450 class, but I don't know that we see it in the next couple of years. He's going to take some getting up to speed, in my opinion, with the way that the class has gone and how many fast guys that we have in the class right now. Obviously, eventually we will probably have a mass exodus of retirees with the Tomacs, the Andersons, the Roxons, the Malcolms, but we will see. But I do believe one day Tom can get to that level, but really weird, obviously, with the pointing out rule that he's gonna have to jump into 450s next year. Only his 3rd year here. We kind of still look at him as a young guy, obviously coming over from overseas. But again, great for him to get two titles here in 3 years here. That's awesome. And Deegan, of course, we spoke about last week, got his first 250 Supercross title. We look for him to defend his outdoor title. Obviously, come back, defend Supercross next year, and then probably jump to 450s. Moving into outdoors over in 2026. Jumping over to 450s, not quite as exciting as the 250 class here. Almost a foregone conclusion. The night turned into a bit of a snoozer. Maybe outside of Malcolm Stewart, truthfully, the race went as almost everyone expected. Chase Sexton ran away with this thing. Cooper Webb kind of held on for the title. Obviously, first place Chase Sexton had an okay start, made a good pass on Coop. He gave Coop a little look back, like he thought he might kind of do something, and then I think he thought better of it. We know Chase Sexton is not the type to kind of make aggressive or wild moves that would take Coop out. Shows a lot of respect for his competitors, so we kind of knew Chase was just gonna go run away with it and hope something happened. Maybe out of his hands, but fortunately for Cooper Webb, he was able to finish in fourth place. So great night for Chase Sexton, of course. Obviously finished 2 points shy of the championship. Won 4 of the final 5 races on the season. The Pittsburgh race is going to haunt him for a while. Truthfully, with the way that everything shook out, not to mention what happened in Dallas and Tampa and a number of other races on the season. But Chase is building. Obviously, I think this was his best season yet. This was better than the 2023 season. Obviously, much better than last year, and just unfortunately wasn't able to get it done. It ran into the buzzsaw that was, Cooper Webb. But again, great ride for Chase Sexton. Great season. Look forward to seeing what happens outdoors. Look forward to seeing him go head to head with Eli and Jet and Hunter and the rest of the guys, Prado, outdoors. So solid season for Chase Sexton. Second place, Malcolm Stewart. As I mentioned, probably the only exciting point of the race. Truthfully, looking at this race with about 16 minutes left and looking at the final running order, not many people moved except for Malcolm Stewart. Malcolm was around sixth and made a number of passes moving forward. Kind of ran it in a bit on Cooper Webb. I don't think was anything malicious. It was pretty dry out there. He maybe lost some traction with the back wheel sliding in on Webb there, but Malcolm Stewart moved forward to second place, in turn kind of pulling Justin Cooper with him. We saw a similar situation as what happened last week. Cooper Webb was running in second place. Justin Cooper got into third and was a bit hesitant to pass Cooper Webb. Truthfully think Justin Cooper could have gotten by Cooper Webb had he wanted to, but he did not. He decided to sit behind him and kind of give Coop that benefit for the championship, and then Malcolm Stewart showed up, and Malcolm kind of took no prisoners, made a pass on Jay Coop, made a pass on Cooper Webb, and at that point, Justin Cooper, who is battling Malcolm Stewart head-to-head for third place in the championship, and probably quite a big bonus, not to mention the podium bonus on the night, so Malcolm Stewart went ahead with second place. Third place was Justin Cooper, as I said. I really would have liked to seen Justin Cooper try to get by Cooper Webb early and see what would have happened. I'm not sure if Mookie would have caught him. Mookie obviously still would have gotten by Webb and gotten in a third, but I really think it would have been fun to see Justin Cooper at full strength. I think he could have gotten in a second and maybe held off Malcolm. Malcolm was moving forward pretty fast, though, so who's to say? But great rides by Malcolm Stewart and Justin Cooper both to finish in second and third. Fourth place doing exactly what he had to, Cooper Webb. Cooper had a one-position buffer. He could have finished as far back as fifth and held on to the championship by a point. Obviously got fourth here on the night. Got up front early, got past Plessinger very quickly on the first lap, and just kind of did his thing, stayed safe, rode in his zone, was very comfortable in the night. Obviously knew the math to ride this thing in for his third Premier Class championship. Truthfully, unbelievable when you think back on the start of Cooper Webb's 450 career. I've never really been a Cooper Webb fan, and when he moved to 450s and was truthfully just terrible, I think he had one podium in his first 2 or 3 seasons aboard the Yamaha. It just, I thought that was what we were going to get for the rest of Cooper Webb's career. He completely turned it around, obviously, when he came to KTM, and is now a 3-time championship, putting himself in rarefied air. Just unbelievable to look back on when you see the names that he's now associated with and the names that he is jumping on the championship list. Eli Tomac, Chad Reed, James Stewart only have 2 championships. Really unbelievable to think that Cooper Webb, with his 30 Supercross wins, has now jumped all these guys in championships. But again, just an unbelievable ride. We all know, the season that has been for Cooper Webb. Obviously, they revealed that he had re-torn his UCL in his thumb preseason. We knew he was struggling early in the year and kind of made his way through it. So just unbelievable season for Cooper Webb. With the injuries that kind of struck this class and the people who left, throughout the season, Ken Roxon, Eli Tomac, Jet Lawrence, Jorge Prado, Anderson, unbelievable amount of people who got injured this year, and Cooper Webb was able to battle through injury early in the season to get this win. So just awesome for Cooper Webb. Fifth place on the night, Joey Savatgy, second fifth of the year, second in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I believe. Really good riding by Joey Savatgy. Got up into that fifth, sixth spot early. Actually, I believe he got in the sixth early when Aaron Plessinger got passed by just a large amount of guys, and then Shane McElrath obviously went down later, pushing Joey into fifth place. So a really good ride by Joey Savatgy to finish the year in fifth place. Look forward to seeing what he can do in outdoors. He's always been a better outdoor rider. Really looking forward to seeing what he's got. Sixth place, Aaron Plessinger, as I mentioned, he did get the whole shot. Once he got passed by Cooper Webb and then he saw Chase Sexton coming on the inside of him, he kind of slowed down to let Chase kind of have way. And where we were at in the race, still early in the second lap, he got passed by like 6 guys. He dropped back to 7th place really quickly. Fortunately for AP, he was kind of able to hang out there. Obviously not where he wants to finish on the year with how well he had been riding. Up until the last maybe 2 weeks or so, being on a podium week in, week out. Obviously, the last 2 weeks in elevation he's kind of struggled a bit. But again, I think he did whole shot actually both of those races. I think he whole shotted last week as well, if memory serves. But again, just a solid finish for AP. To get 6th, a number of podiums on the season. Another guy who we look forward to seeing what he's got outdoors. Look to see if he can bounce back to where he was at a couple years ago. Fighting Jet for a couple wins during Jet's perfect season. 7th place, Dean Wilson. Who would have thought after his 17th and his first race of the year, just a couple weeks ago, that he would be finishing 7th by the end of the year. I believe this is Dean's best finish, at least in 3 seasons. He had a couple top 10s, as I've mentioned in the past last year, but I don't believe he was in the top 7 anytime in the last 2 seasons. So really great ride by Dean Wilson. We heard he was injured a bit, so good for him to race through that. Will not be racing any outdoors. Maybe look to see some Supercross from him moving forward in the next couple of years. We know he's on a bit of a world tour, as he calls it, so will not be retired from racing, but possibly done with Pro Supercross. We will see. Obviously not going to be racing in motocross. 8th place, Justin Hill. Bit of a bounce back. He's had a couple 12-13s the last couple of weeks, so solid for him to get back into the top 10. Good riding for Justin Hill in the year. 9th place, Shane McElrath. Just unfortunate here, actually. Shane McElrath was riding really good. I think he was riding around 3rd or 4th place. I think he was in 3rd, and Justin Cooper got him, and then he went down while in front of Malcolm Stewart. But Shane McElrath was riding really well, looked really fast, looked primed to get a top 5 this week. He was ahead of Joey, his teammate. I do believe he would have gotten past I shouldn't say that because Cooper Webb was already in front of him. I do believe he could have held out in 5th place and held off Joey had he not gone down, but unfortunately he did. We saw him tuck the front. Solid for him to get back up in 9th and hold on to that, though. But again, probably one of his best rides of the season. He's been riding really well lately, but was really looking to kind of break into that top 5 for the second time this season. 10th place, Dylan Ferrandis. Didn't see much of Dylan on the night. As I mentioned, a lot of these guys, just no moves were made during the race. It was unbelievable kind of to watch the timing and scoring. A couple passes here and there, but really no big movement or anything. 11th place, Christian Craig. Decent ride by Craig. He was in the top 10 last week, so 11th, not bad. We know that he will not be racing outdoors either unless there's an injury on the 450 class. Fortunately, with the way it sounds like Cooper Webb, who in the press conference said that he is not worried about outdoors. Now, we know he has this injury. He may go get this fixed, so that may open the door for Christian Craig to race 450 outdoors, which would be a really big help to Christian Craig. He is a much better outdoor rider aboard the 450 from what we've seen so far, so I'd be interested to see that. 12th place, Colt Nichols. Kind of mentioned this last week. I don't think Colt's happy with these rides. He's better than 12th place. With as many guys that we have out on the season, he should be breaking into this top 10. But another 12th place. He's had a number of 12th, 13th, 14th on the year. 13th, Freddie Noren. A decently underrated season for Freddie Noren. I feel like he's been here every week outside of the couple weeks that I believe he was injured earlier in the season. So really good riding for Freddie Noren. 14th place, Kyle Chisholm. Just solid all around all year. This is what we're known as just to be. Just a solid veteran. His last season racing full time. We do know that he will probably bounce in here and there moving forward in the next few seasons. So would be interested to see where Chiz can finish in these next few years. Honestly, he'll probably be right here in the 14 through 18 range moving forward. I wouldn't be surprised to see him. 15th, Jeremy Hand. Really good riding by Jeremy Hand this season. Obviously had the crash in Tampa with Roxon that kind of took him out for a bit as well. But good riding on the rest of the season. Has made a number of main events. 16th, Cade Clayson, bouncing back, has made the last couple mains, I believe, been riding well late in the season. 17th, Mitchell Harrison, a little further back, maybe, with some of these guys that he should be finishing ahead of Hand and Cade, maybe, but, 17th, about where we've seen him in the top 15. But again, maybe we look to see him ahead of Jeremy Hand and Cade Clayson, but, decent ride nonetheless. Mitchell Harrison actually had a decent season aboard the Mad Parts PRMX, Cowie, whatever they're called now. They've been through a number of sponsors in the last few years, but a solid ride by Mitchell Harrison and a solid season. 18th, Kevin Moran's about where he's been week in and week out. This has got to be his, off the top of my head, 12th, 13th main event of the year. It may be more than that, but just a really good turnaround from last season. 19th, Grant Harlan. Good for Grant to get back in the main event. Has had some struggles this year. I believe this is his 4th or 5th main event of the year. 20th, Justin Starling. Good riding by Starling. 20th, not where he wants to be. I think he's finished up as far as 14th this year, but just good riding by Starling all around. Kind of from Tampa on. After Tampa, it seemed like he kind of turned it on, so he's had a really good, middle and second half of the season. 21st, Anthony Rodriguez. I believe he crashed. It looked like he was in 16th or so earlier. Not really sure what happened with A-Rod. Saw a lot of crashes and a lot of rough finishes and DNFs from A-Rod this year, but solid for him to keep it going. And 22nd, we saw Benny Bloss out very early in the main event. I believe it was a bike issue. It looked like he was pointing down at his bike. So unfortunate for Benny, but that's what happens when you're riding, on the beta, the new bike. This is what we kind of expected to see from the Triumph. Obviously, the Triumph hasn't stepped into the 450 class yet, but this is why a lot of the rumors circling about, Tomac going to Ducati or somebody going to Triumph here and there. This is part of the worry, is that we have bike issues pretty often with these new manufacturers. Speaking of that, Benny Bloss's teammate, Mitchell Oldenburg, knocked himself out in practice, did not race on the night. We've seen him, got accustomed to him in the top, 13, 14 on the year. So rough night for the beta guys. Obviously, again, your champion, Cooper Webb, just an unbelievable season. Really looking forward to outdoors to get all of our guys back. Again, sounds like we may see Webb step away at some point in outdoors. Who knows? Obviously, is not focused on that right now. I will have some motocross preview pods coming soon, maybe next weekend with the off week between Salt Lake City and the opening round of Pro Motocross. So looking forward to that. That's all I've got this week. If you want to follow us, as always, on X, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify at Not Another Moto Pod. Thanks for listening.